Paul Lee made a superb start from row 4 to jump into a lead he would not relinquish, while Paul Poulter in car 4 delayed the chasing pack as he discovered slick tyres were not the best choice for the conditions. He soon lost second to Mark Proctor, and then, as he slid wide, Paul Sheard dumped him to 4th. It was the sort of day when tyre choice would be critical. Before long, Poulter had the charging White up alongside him out of the hairpin, and there was no way he could stop the former hot rod world champion from taking 4th spot. Soon, White was challenging for 3rd, but Sheard proved a harder nut to crack, and he also had the close attentions of Mark Willis and Faulding to worry about. His charge was at an end.
We had a good race until we got, behind a black car, and he wanted all the track, but I suppose he was racing for a position, but I've got a little saying, what goes round comes round.
Before the next V6 race, the V8 boys were on display, with Barry Lee on the front row and determined to keep alive his hopes of beating Mike Jordan for the inaugural title. At the start, Lee leapt ahead, and Peter Medley helped his cause by fending off Jordan in determined style, giving Barry a bit of breathing space in front. Behind, Kevin Clark in car 4 squeezes past Graham Hathaway for 5th. Jordan is still 3rd, but soon to be 2nd as Medley slides wide and allows both he and Pete Chambers past. Now it's Clark's turn to attack as Medley gets into a huge slide. This time wet tyres were the wrong choice, as Chambers discovered when Clark demoted him to 4th. Next on Clark's list is Jordan. He's in the slipstream. He goes for the outside. Not this time, Kevin. So Barry Lee takes a comfortable win ahead of Jordan, Tony Gale and a recovering Clark. For race 2, it's Gale who's at the front, having started from the back of race 1. And when the lights turned from red to green, he was away like a man possessed. This time, Medley was on the right tyres, but on the wrong part of the circuit. Once again, Kevin Clark was the man doing the overtaking, and he rounded Graham Hathaway in determined style at the hairpin to take 2nd spot. While Clark could now set his sights on reducing the gap to Gale, Barry Lee and 5th had to get ahead of Jordan if he was to take the title battle to the last round, but it all ended in tears. Barry recovered, but the title would now surely be Jordan's. Halfway around the last lap, and Clark was now right on Gale's tail, and he made his move into the devil's elbow. Oh, Kevin, not again. Gale held on to beat Jordan to the line. It was his race, but Jordan's title, unless there was a protest about that overtaking manoeuvre.
Possible results change, a little bit of incident ahead.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. Sort of a racing incident. Barry was making a very bold bid around the outside and flipped me as he went past. So take him as they come.
No guilty conscience?
None whatsoever, absolutely not.
I'm happy that you are now the V8 champion.
Very happy, yeah. We had a good run at the start of the year. A few problems late, had a few engine problems, but that's all been sorted now, so that should see the job done.
The second V6 race had Faulding on pole, with Cunningham on row 3 and White on row 4. The crunch race with all three going head-to-head. From the start, Faulding left the field behind him, but how long would it take for his challengers to get through? Cunningham had to be careful of those ahead of him, but what he didn't want was White alongside him. And certainly not in front of him. And pulling away. If there's one thing you get with Eurocars, it's plenty of overtaking. While White had little to lose, Cunningham had to be a little more circumspect, but he was still picking up places when the opportunities arose. By mid-race, White once again had Mark Willis on his tail, but now he was challenging Faulding for the lead. Again, wet tyres were the wrong choice, and Faulding was easy meat. Black 36 was soon demoted from the lead to 4th. He would end the race 8th, and his title hopes all but gone as his championship contenders finished either side of a wild Willis. The final V6 race saw a typical cavalry charge down to the first corner, and then a typical racing incident into the Devil's Elbow. Removing David Pitcher from the bunker meant a pace car and a restart. In race 3, without White and Faulding, Neil Cunningham was looking for a solid, steady result, but he was a long way back in the pack. He needed to overtake, but he needed to be careful. On lap 4, he was past Mark Proctor for 10th, but Proctor wanted his place back. It was a worst-case scenario for the championship leader. While his assailants got away relatively lightly, Cunningham's car appeared to have terminal damage, and the officials decided to call him in.
I had the black flag to pull over, so I jumped out, checked the car out. There was nothing wrong with it. All it was a bumper was rubbing on a tyre. I could have done the whole race distance, and I could have easily had an extra 30 points, but that's racing. And I'm very disappointed that all I had to do was finish next, and I was still leading the championship. So I think Phil White and I go into the next round tie now.
Back on the track, Graham Miller and Art Marcus were tied for the lead, but lap 13 lucky for Art, and he left Miller to go on to an easy win, while the championship goes down to the wire at Brands Hatch.